Yeah, we do. So do the fans.
Okay.
We want to know what's going on.
It's okay too.
We're the most laid-back bowling program ever.
Oh,
we don't have anybody to answer to. I own it.
Yeah.
And he's involved as well. I mean, we all. Yeah, it's us.
Yeah.
So if you want approval for anything, Doug can approve it, or I can.
Yeah,
approve
I can
it.
sign off on anything.
He's the vice president of marketing. I'm the CEO. We're up here talking to George Branham.
Yeah, I was trying to effort to get him in the booth real fast.
Got an update from one. Got an update. Brian Goebel front 9. So probably end up having to leave the booth again, Doug.
Well, George came over and he's standing right behind the 3rd seat. So I just grabbed the headphones and started to hand them to him.
Yeah.
And he just got this really polite grin, and he started rubbing my shoulders, and he said, "I'm in between frames." And I said, "Well, I know. We don't need any time. Just sit down and say hello."
Yeah.
Hello.
George Branham III.
And then immediately the other hyena, Mike, just pounces.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, that's the fun part of the job. Bowlers working for bowlers.
Oh yeah.
For free.
That's definitely Oh yeah. For free. You know, I used to run a miniature golf course, and people would come in and say, "What is this?" And I'd be like, "Oh, it's glow-in-the-dark miniature golf. Is it free?" No, it's not.
No. We pay rent. You paid rent for that facility, right?
And yeah, definitely. And then here's Branham, leaves a 10 pin. What is he wearing? We need to get him in some IB gear. Where does his team sit? What team is he on?
I want to ask him about his fitness regimen.
Oh yeah, he's definitely.
He's lost. For those of you that I don't know. If you're not watching the stream, you're listening. I don't know. Branham's probably lost. Would you say 35, 40 pounds? From the gentleman and it's not. I'm sure he's biking or running or he's doing something.
If Hank Boomershine was here, he would say that he's going through the Tough Mudder. I bet he's in that Tough Mudder. You know, when I was in Utah, I visited with Hank, and that's all he talked about was this Tough Mudder competition and how he was going to do it. It's on his bucket list. I bet George Branham's been doing some tough mudding. There he is, old George. He's bowling leadoff. And he's smiling. He says it's tough out there. You know, I don't think George is giving himself enough credit.
He knows we're talking about.
Oh, he does. Yeah, he does. He knows. He knows. He likes Blue Moon. He likes Blue Moon.
Ooh, well, I'm going to buy him. If they don't have Shock Top here, or I'd buy him a Shock Top. George Branham's competing with Steve Harmon, Brian Walker, Jack Laffey, and Scott Newell.
Oh, that's a great team.
But they have the most unique team name of all of our competitors. Do you want to know their team name?
What's that?
Huge Midgets.
Huge Midgets. Yeah, I like that.
So, as you look at our scrolling ticker there on the live feed, when you see Huge Midgets, think of George Branham, I.
That's for the 3rd for you listening at home. I'm going to check the standings, see how old Huge Midgets are doing here. It's hard to say. They're in 21st, 241 over. They're 250 pins out.
Do you think Scott's sporting the Raiders hat so he can grow that mohawk out, so he can get it grown back out?
Could be. He's more aerodynamic.
Uh-oh. My wife does hair, and there's been times where I couldn't get a haircut, and she's got the clippers at the house, and I've thought about going downstairs and just shaving it off and just forgetting about it. But I have huge ears.
You do?
I have big ears.
Never really noticed that before.
Yeah. And so she said, if you do, you'll regret it, and I've never done it. So
I gotta go get an update on Goebel.
Okay.
But you've got Turbo here. You got some good stuff going on. You got
I know.
Jody Westner's mom in the chat, Pete Barta in the chat.
I can't see the chat.
Right here.
No, I can't see it. I don't have my contacts in. I think we're finishing up the 9th frame here on most pairs. 17, 18 frame or so behind, but I'm noticing just through this game alone, some more animation from all of our teams. Now, I was asked by some spectators if Chad Roberts up on 15 is related to Aaron Rodgers. You Packer fans out there, please chime in. I can kind of see it in the eyes, maybe. But we've been laughing about that ever since. Well, maybe get Chad in the booth to talk about that. But he's a good dude, good sport. Him and Adam Barta have made most of the streaming today pleasurable with their online interviews. Slammy must have thrown the IB Hex on Goebel. He's already back with the iPad. Did you throw the IB Hex on him?
Yeah, they all think I jinxed them, but I was not recording.
There's Jody up on 15.
Pete Weber's got the front 7, so that's the first 19 to open up. We're watching history here. This tournament is USBC sanctioned. Pete Weber still perfect this block. We'll keep you updated. He is in camera range. We'll get a camera moved over as soon as the Western team is complete here. Bring you a little bonus coverage of PBW, who's moving in this direction. We'll have him for the next couple of games right in front of us.
It'd be cool if he shot 900.
Yeah, it would. Spoken like a true champion. Yeah, it would.
Best color man in the business, folks.
9 a.m. tomorrow, we come back and we do this thing all over again. Where are you guys from in the chat? Beans, where are you from? Beer coming into play on the animation.
Oh, I was saying some of the teams are getting a little more animated, you know, through 2 games, and I don't see a whole lot of consumption going on. I just think everybody's been in this bowling center, you know, for 12 hours, and you know, some teams are in the hunt. Some guys, you know, a lot of these guys, like Tom Adcock mentioned in our fan cam player interview earlier this morning, you know, these guys don't hang out and bowl together every weekend. And they're all great friends. The only time they get together is usually when it's bowling related, between their work and their families and whatever other interests they may have. So this is a fun thing.
Yeah, and usually they're normally beating each other's brains in. Instead, they're cheering for each other to beat everybody else's brains.
This is a team event, so usually these guys meet up and bowl a singles event and root each other on as best they can, but they all want to win. And you get to join forces with your buddies, and this is a fun thing, you know.
Team event is the most popular event at the USBC National Tournament for a reason.
Carter's was spot on when he, you know, I heard him when he was talking about his frustrations as a PBA player and how he wasn't going to do that, and he was just like, I would bowl a team tournament every weekend, or every week of my life. I'm just sick of the single stuff for right now. And what do you know? He puts together a charitable team event, and
27 teams later.
It's great.
And we've got an event coming up October 13th and 14th in St. Louis. It's the 5-spot team event. It's only $500 entry fee. It's $100 a man. Plenty of side pots and action. And Tropicana Lanes, where the tour used to come. make sure you check that out. We got a flyer on the homepage, and you can check out our event on Facebook.
That's a good area too, as far as restaurants in the area. There's St. Louis Galleria is right across the street. Easy access to the highway, 170 and 40. There's some hotels close. I don't know the price ranges in there, but all the way around, that could be a good deal. I was reading an article in the Bowler's Journal. I don't know if it was last month's or previous. And before the PBA started, the concept for bowling with the Budweiser team and all the teams in the 50s, the concept was to have a major team out of every major city. But this was before, as the PBA was, when they were trying to figure out where they wanted to go with the sport of bowling. There's a great article in there about how they had a major team in every major city, and how it was going to be set up like a NFL or Major League Baseball or NBA, and then they went with the PBA format that we know and love. But that would be interesting to see what could happen out there if they did go to a major bowling team in every major city, and we watch those teams compete.
There's a lot of people I've heard that idea from.
Well, I was saying that's
redone.
not a new idea. That was what the original concept for professional bowling was for before the PBA started.
There's people that still want to get that going.
I think that would be awesome.
I agree with you.
You could it could be set up, in so many ways.
Like, seriously, there's Team USA. Why can't you have, State USA? You know what I mean? You have a tournament in every state that is for Team Missouri, Team Illinois. I'm on Team Illinois, dude.
Right.
And we compete in quarterly tournaments every year. We bowl against the lower 48 or whatever.
Right.
Makes sense.
Midwestern Conference? All the ball manufacturers split the states up by conferences. You got the Northeast, the Southeast, the South Central, the Midwest, the Southwest, and the Northwest.
Get some people caught up here, Doug, just to switch subjects for a second.
Yeah, what's up?
Shannon Polhowski here has
1.5.
259 left. Oh, Jody Westner had 192. Want to welcome everybody in that is here from Valley Park. Eric Banks, thank you so much for coming in.
What's up, Eric
and
Banks?
Don't forget Cincinnati, Appleton, Wisconsin, Des Moines, Iowa, Peoria, and Effingham, Illinois. And don't forget, our next live stream broadcast is our own event. We run it. We're the tournament office. We're the live stream booth. We're everything. We bring the entire team in, and we're going to Dubuque, Iowa, the 11thframe.com open tournament.
In 2 weeks.
2 weeks, that's right. Check our live stream schedule out. And $170 entry fee, $4,000 first place, $1,500 added from the Miller Brewing Company in the Dubuque area. Sorry, Doug, we tried Budweiser, but Miller stepped up, bud.
That's okay.
And
that's a whole nother state.
Yep. So it's going to be a great event. We can't wait to be there. It's a beautiful bowling center and a gorgeous casino. We got rooms blocked out until August the 10th, $50 or $80 a night or something.
$80 a night.
Yeah, I wish it was 50, but the hotels sell out so much in that town. So PDW is no longer perfect.
Yeah, I gave him the dart.
Front 7. And looks like 2-pin.
Oh, whiff. And he whiffed it.
Well, I'm going to admit when I'm right and I'm going to admit when I'm wrong, and I've been preaching about Mark McDowell tearing up this pattern. And earlier today, I don't know what the deal is, but he just cannot get a second game together. Earlier today, 290, 190. Today, 279. And it looks like here, if he spares this up, this 280 is going to be in the 180s.
Yeah.
He's a leadoff bowler, so I guess he shoots the big game the first game. Says, all right, guys, pick me up.
Yeah. Well, it's just coincidental. You're moving after every game. And I think on this lane surface and the volumes and the pattern links provide some pretty squirrely transition at the end of the first game. I really do. The way that, because your practice, you don't move in practice. You got guys for 15 minutes. Then you got the game that's bowled. And I just think by the end of the second game, the last three, from the 7th, 8th frame on, I think is when the transition is starting to really take hold. And you either have it or you don't.
There's Steve Richter playing the inside part of the lane.
Yeah.
He's such a technician. I talked to McDowell and Riggles, and they tell me what happens is Riggles starts the emails with how they're going to attack the pattern at Nationals and what they're reading and seeing. And then Richter comes in and says, I'm going to lay it down at my bowling center. And he practices on it, and then he gives an email to the entire team and talks about what he saw, and then Riggles analyzes it and then starts putting together a game plan. Meanwhile, nobody else on the team has emailed anything to anybody. All right? So then Richter and Riggles get together and tell everybody what they see and talk about what they think would be good. And then once they have all that put together, Gail Meyer starts chirping in. And then Gail starts talking about what they need to do and starts going with the rah, rah, rah stuff and starts getting opinionated. Meanwhile, Shady and McDowell are just sitting back.
Yeah.
And they're just waiting to find out what the game plan is.
Right.
And then when they finally come up with the game plan, Mark McDowell goes to the bowling center in his hometown at 9 o'clock at night, like for 2 weeks straight, every night, and they lay down the pattern for him.
Okay.
And he practices. He's got a certain set regimen of drills that he does for these practices till about 10:30, 11 o'clock, and then goes home. That's how he gears up for the tournament. And Shady does a similar regimen. And then Riggles and Richter usually get with McDowell and a couple other people, and they all get together. And they bowl, but Shady's from so far away that they can't get involved with that he can't come in. And then they talk about it again, and then they go bowl the 1, 2, 3, and then they bowl the showcase lanes. They talk some more, and then they bowl the team event. That's how that works.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense. All right, for those of you just joining us, we're finishing up Game 2 here at the Mary Teubner Team Challenge.
What's that?
Waiting to see who's jumping around here from pair to pair. We are in Springfield, Illinois, and we are on Broadway pattern. Little different house here. The front parts of the lane are synthetic, and the back ends are wood, and it's created a one-word synonym of friction. We got a lot of urethane out there, but we're seeing some scores. Pete Weber opening game 300 and the front 7 in game 2. And we're happy to bring you this from InsideBowling.com. This is Dougie Fresh, Doug Lakey, along with our fearless leader, Mike Flanagan. And thank you, everybody in the chat. It's been a fun day so far. We are going on 12 hours of coverage. We had a little hiccup after our first 5 games with the bracket tournament coordinator software. And once we got that corrected with Mike and I's help, we saved him about 45 minutes.
Yeah, just about. Yeah, we sat here and cranked it out on the Excel spreadsheet.
If we wouldn't have done that, it would be, I don't know, 9:30 before we would be at this spot right now, and it's 8:40. So happy we could help. We have a little break in the action, as you can see.
Yeah, here we are up in the booth.
Run over to the right bay.
What's up, everybody?
Hi there. You're going to watch us talk for a minute.
Yeah, we're just up here making it happen here at
We've had
Kingpin Lanes.
Right.
Springfield, Illinois. Mike Flanagan and Doug Lakey here with you. And we've got our fan cam, too. Don't forget, this is our new fan cam. We just move it around. And
right.
We'll go ahead. We'll show you what's happening here. A little update here.
For those of you that have been, most of you have been watching since 9 a.m. this morning.
Oh, yeah.
And Adam Barta, Chad Roberts, Shannon Plahowski.
George Branham III, PBA titleist.
Yeah.
And down over on our left, as you can clearly see, big crowd back here. That's Pete Weber. Pete Weber's gallery back there. Just came off 300.
Gail Myers up on 14 with another strike. These guys are going to be tough tomorrow. We're going to cut to the top 10 teams out of the 27 that are participating. Those top 10 are going to bowl 10 2-game Baker matches. 25 pins awarded per game, but if a team wins both games, they get another 50. So it's either going to be one team wins, no bonus pins, or it's going to be one team wins both games and they get 100. Because there's no way to get
100
25.
pins a ton, yeah.
Right.
Yep.
You either get 100 or nothing.
Here's Gail Myers Jr. Oh, man, bad break, 7-10.
Yeah. Well, I guess you get your 25.
That was a fill ball there. Yeah, you're right.
But those cancel out. If you're bowling a team that's close to you in standings, you really cancel out your bonus pins on each other unless you win both games.
Correct.
So
yeah,
that's going to make for some exciting coverage. I'm excited. Mike and I are chomping at the bit to bowl. We almost got George Branham in the booth with us, but he said, in between frames, man. Then he started rubbing my shoulders.
Rubbing your shoulders, yeah.
So, I don't know what happened there, but every time I'm in this building over the years, bowling, not bowling, I always feel like I'm in a weird dream. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the masking units or the hot temperatures.
They're saying I'm slacking here in the chat. 257 for Shannon, 195 for Adam, 228 for Chad Roberts, 192 for Jody Westner, and 208 for
Hayward.
Oh, you know what? I think I had it backwards. Hayward might have had 228, and it might have been Roberts with 208. But anyway, a 1080 team score. So thanks, Pete Barta. I want to give a shout out to Mike J. Laneside, who is watching and hanging out with us, helping us out. It's always good to have our friends from Extra Frame, and a lot of times when they're online streaming, we like to bounce ideas off of each other as far as what's it look like when you're streaming, what's your bit rate look like, what's your audio delay look like, and he just let us know that everything's coming through good except for the fan cam.
Right.
So that lets us know that there's the USB connection actually gives us an audio delay, but our component seems like it's not, so that's good to know. Because we actually thought that the USB cameras could be a way that we could save, because the USB cameras are only about $35 a piece as opposed to the HD cameras that are like $1,000 a piece. But it happens, and
we have 2 HD cameras up right now.
We do.
So.
We do. Yeah. But you know, Mike J, looking forward to working with you again sometime in the near future, sir, and appreciate all that you do for this great game of bowling and what you bring to the table. I always say if we could have a professional broadcaster to come in and and bring us in and out a break and be able to keep the chatter going and the banter going and all the online Twitter feeds and Facebook things, we'd be in a lot better place. So what you do for the PBA is much appreciated, and you guys just don't get enough credit, you and Jason, and always working shorthanded out there on the road. So appreciate you checking in with us today and helping us out. Okay.
There's Mindy, still working hard. Yeah.
Still selling tickets.
Really good job like that.
What's that?
So you did a really good job with that announcement.
Oh, with all the people?
Yeah, I was impressed.
Thanks.
Because there was kind of a grouchiness, and then they really worked out.
Yeah, well, you just got to explain things. You got to show your hand.
And then it's like, you did a good job.
Well, thanks.
We've been in that situation before.
Yeah, I was just giving a compliment here. I did a good job with the announcement earlier when the bracket program messed up.
Right.
And it's not like it messed up. It created zeros for some of the scores just on its own. And we double-checked and looked back at everything and stepped in, and we got it done. It delayed competition for about an hour, and I just thought that everybody should know why it happened and let them put themselves in our shoes to where if that were to happen, I mean, we're not running the event here, but obviously we jump in. If we're sitting on the ship, Doug, and we're sunbathing and we're getting lathered up and get back rubs, and we got our sunglasses, sipping some booze, and we see a fellow person in the industry, like almost just, what am I looking for, about to drown.
Right.
We're not going to just sit up there and keep drinking and
No.
enjoying our back rubs. We're going to jump into the water and go save them. We're going
Right.
to throw them a life preserver. We're going to help them out.
We found
And
a way
that's
to
what we
help.
did.
We found a way to help.
Yep, that's what we do, and that's why we all work together in this great game that we love and try to put on the best events possible and bring
We
you the
do.
best online coverage that we can. So
Speaking of, we are about done on 15 and 16. They're done getting started, and 17 and 18 wrapping up the Anchor Bowlers 10th frame. If you want to go to the right bay, we can check out. We've got a 6-bagger working for make that 7. Is that Jack Laffey?
it'll be helpful if I move the camera over where we actually have some competition going on, Doug. So it's the Mary Teubner Team Challenge. It's a great benefit for cancer. And
It
Jeff
is. That's a
Carter's
nice story.
He's had a stressful weekend here, the poor
Yeah.
guy. And he's bowling in the tournament.
Yeah, he's trying to do both.
How's his team doing? He is the Turbo Tech. Ooh, just on the outside looking in here. 2 pins off the cut.
Okay.
And remember, 10 teams are going to advance tomorrow for 20 games of Baker. And all 10 teams will cash. First place is, I believe, $8,250, Doug. Pretty close to that.
Something like that, 8,500.
All of our pieces of paper seem to have... See, what happens is everybody radiates around the booth. Oh, here we go.
8,500.
Thank you, Doug. Work.
Not the best color man in the business for nothing, folks.
All right, so
Oh, boy.
they want to know if Weber stopped striking, and Pete Weber did
did.
stop striking. He has not struck one of the frames this game, and he's entering into the 10th frame.
He did. It's my fault, probably. He left a 2-pin and missed it, unfortunately. I don't know what he did after that.
No, we're just moving it for a second. All right, you're going to see Pete Weber there. Give you a little Pete Weber coverage here. PDW is tearing it up. His team is in second place.
He had a great first block financially. He caught the right guys at the right time on just because Mike and I had to assist in the bracket fiasco. We got a first-hand look at how all of them played out. So congrats to any side winnings for PDW.
Pete opened up 300. He's got 240 left here. He's got the first hit in the 10th, and his team's got about 1080 left, which is a decent score with this second game of this block that they're bowling on Broadway. It was Abbey Road earlier today. They stripped and oiled the lanes, and now it's Broadway that's been put down after Abbey Road. They did strip and oil, but obviously you can't get all the residue off the lanes, so is playing a little bit. You see Brian Himmler, the Chief, down there just having a little relaxation. He's probably got a beer nearby, probably just relaxing, enjoying a Saturday night. Too bad they can't take the roof off of this place and get a breeze going through and we get a barbecue going. We'd really be in good shape. And, you know, people wanted to criticize that Women's U.S. Open, but that's really the atmosphere they created, Doug.
Yeah, they did. I mean, it's a desert.
It is a desert.
And they didn't think about wind and dust. I don't know. Maybe 1 + 2 is 4.
There's PDW. Who do you think you are? Yes. I am. Oh, yeah.
Who do you think you are?
And he's moving in this direction, too.
He is.
He's making a right-hand turn, and they're going to be coming through. There's Rob Gottschall, you know. He didn't have a very good morning block, but he's ready to redeem himself tonight. I don't know how his team's doing, but he's definitely one of the favorites. See the king of swing there, Mike Fagan. Or otherwise, when we interviewed him earlier, he said that his nickname, he just likes Mike Fagan, since his name is Michael.
How you doing, Tom?
He says, I like my nickname, which is Mike.
You have a 7-second delay.
Yeah. Yeah, where's everybody? There's Petey for his fill. That's kicking the tin out on lane 9. And 240 for Pete. What was it if he struck out? Was it 47?
Yeah, I believe so. 46 or 47.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So 146 over for P-Dub.
10 strikes that game. He's thrown the first 20 out of 22 shots.
We have that.
22 out of
do we have that video uploaded on our?
No, not yet. We're having some internal networking issues. And there's Mike Fagan.
We had a conversation earlier with Fagan on our fan cam live interview, and we asked him about his nicknames and if he was any part of those or making those up, and he said no, by no means. Don't want anything to do with that. We asked him if he had a nickname, what he would want it to be, and he said Mike. And we're like, well, what's your name? He said, no, my name's Michael. And I go by Mike. That's a nickname. So he got us on that one. So I'm going to start calling Flanagan Michael, and I'll go by Douglas. If you want to call us by our nicknames, you can go with Mike and Doug.
Gene Vincent sporting the Roto Grip shirt. Chris Schlimmer had that on at the Grand Prix Trade Show. I saw him last week.
Yeah? That's like a Charlie Brown concoction.
It is Charlie Brown. Good one.
Yeah.
So, Doug, who we got coming through on that sheet there? It tells you right there. I'm just kidding.
We don't.
Yeah, we don't have
We
a
missed.
sheet.
We did not get pairing updates because of the bracket fiasco. We decided to help them with that. We got our boys here on 15 and 16. And we also have our Metro East All-Stars, Jerry Anderson, Kevin Perkey, Tom Partle, Jerry Dwiggins. They're up against PD Dub.
Yeah, and then we've also got Jeff Furr's team and Antonio Medina's team. So lots of folks here in our A Bay over here.
Funky Cold.
Antonio Funky Cold Medina.
Camden Rakita's eating a Pop-Tart.
I didn't know they sold those in here, Doug.
What is it?
No, I don't know.
It's a fruit bar. It's a
I was gonna say,
Nutri-Grain bar.
You know we need a toaster for a Pop-Tart.
Oh, I love cold Pop-Tarts. Just right out of the package.
Camden Rokita's got a lot of fans watching here, a lot of family members. So far, this team has been a fine-oiled machine today.
Fine oiled machine.
Solid 9 Pro Shops out of Decatur, Illinois. It's Anthony Lacaze now. Anthony bowls phenomenal in team events. Ex-collegiate star at Saginaw Valley State.
Ugh.
And as we talk him up, he goes to a 10. I bet he talks to Pete and explains to him what kind of ball reaction he got, whether it was a good shot or a bad shot, and what's going on out there.
Pete's watching him.
Bruce Postal, he's got a team with Lonnie Wallachek and Danny Wiseman. You see Danny there.
I'm surprised we didn't get the DV8 boys here with like Lowshetter, Machuga, and Valena. They're all pretty close. Northern Illinois, Ohioans.
We talked about Brett Shepard and Antonio Medina coming down this way. There's a look at Shepard playing the extreme outside part of the lane. Really good shot there by Brett. We'll see what he can do as he continues to attack this lane pattern from the outside. Going into that last game, they sat in 5th place plus 692. Team's bowling very well. And if Linda Keeler is in the chat, Steve is up on lane 17. The Twins get a chance to watch Dad bowl. Steve's the leadoff bowler, as we said earlier. He also was the leadoff bowler for Central Missouri State University a few moons ago. Not to call Steve old, but let's face it, we all get older, and it's about 10 or 12 years ago. So look at Wesley Edwards. He's from Missouri. Good look at Lonnie Wallachek. Lonnie Wallachek 2.0. We talked about that a little bit earlier. I talked to Lonnie and said, did you lose the 2.0, Lonnie? And he said, yeah, I don't really go by that anymore. And I said, well, I kind of liked it. Like a reinvention of yourself. He's like, I liked it too. It just didn't stick. Well, as far as I'm concerned, he's 2.0. And he's up on lane 1.4, otherwise known as 14.
Oh, man. Our buddy over here was at Buffalo Wild Wings earlier, and his buddies were giving him trouble for the amount of food he ordered.
Yeah.
And now he's got this huge salad.
Yeah, Mike Adamski.
But because he didn't order enough food. And he's like, oh, I'm okay. Just give me that for now. That wasn't enough. Go over there and tell him you should order more food at B-Dubs.
There goes Pete Weber, classic style.
Is that what is that? What's he throwing?
It looks like he started out this block with a critical theory with a little bit of surface on it. It looks like that's what he's still using. If his ball reaction continues to hit like that on this pair for a few shots, I would like to see him get into a ball that's going to drive through the pins a little bit better. And he'll recognize that too if it starts laying off too much and it's time to go to something a little more shiny or with a little more down lane back in. He certainly will.
Camden Rakita. He's almost up. Camden, I'm a huge fan of Camden. He talk about he was in the top 10 in all events this year in USBCs. I don't know what he finished, maybe 3rd or 4th. And then we got him live on 15 and 16.
You know, Lacaze and Weber have really carried this Decatur team from Solid 9 Pro Shop. And now we're seeing Rick Coy and Corey Kistner and Camden, Camden's bowled really well too, but we're seeing these leadoff guys starting to get lined up now and give Pete some help and Anthony some help. And it'll be interesting to see what Corey and Rick do this game right in front of us. You know, I expect them to start getting lined up, and not that they're bowling bad, but they're certainly not setting the world on fire. So here's Corey Kistner. Used to be tournament director for the PBA Tour. Now he lives in Decatur and throws the ball two-handed now. Changed his game over. Just as I talk him up, he misses the head pin to the right here. Here's Kevin Perkey from the St. Louis area, this other side of the river. Up on lane 15. He's bowling on Team Anderson.
If you watch Kistner's ball reaction right there, what would be your adjustment for him?
Well, it didn't seem like the ball came off the spot. It never really got a chance to get into a roll and actually do what it was supposed to do. So I haven't been watching Corey bowl a whole lot. But considering he's just switched to two-handed not too long ago, I would assume that occasionally he's going to make an errant shot.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm not sure that he would make an adjustment necessarily because...
Yeah, that ball never picked up at all.
Right, so I'm thinking it might have been a speed or miss at the bottom type thing, maybe a mechanical issue.
Right.
But if that was truly a good shot, I would probably ball up or just move right.
Well, Pete was using fairly, mid to upper range ball with surface.
Yeah.
And that ball that Corey used was, I don't know the brand or make, but it had some polish on it. So
Roy Adams here as well, bowling on the Anderson team. It's always good to see Roy. We love Roy. He's a big supporter of what we do and bowls a lot of our events back home. Recently, we've been streaming a lot of these events, other people's events, and we've been growing our fan base. And don't forget, we do have Twitter and Facebook. Look us up, Inside Bowling. And don't forget to add me as a friend, Mike Flanagan at Facebook. It's The Mike Flanagan. So Facebook.com/The Mike Flanagan. And Doug Lakey here in the booth. He likes new friend requests too. Look us up.
They only have 55 left.
Well, judging by Lacaze's reaction there on 16, he goes 1, 2, 4, 10 as well.
So
I'm thinking this pair just might be a little squirrel.
It is. It's got to be. Doug, you're much better at this than I am. We've got a lot of questions in the chat and a lot of followers on Dave Barris.
Yeah,
I was wondering if maybe you might want to just hop out of the booth for a minute.
Okay.
Go down to the Barris pair, find out what's going on.
Yeah, I'm going to go talk to these guys.
find out when they're going to be on our live stream, see if we're going to find a way to be able to get them in front of the cameras, because if we got people asking for it, we want to try to bring it to them as soon as possible. So Doug's going to jet out of the booth here for just a moment. Check it out. We'll get you guys taken care of on what's going on with the Barris group. I mean, we should be covering them, for crying out loud. They're leading the tournament. You know, it's easy to get sidetracked when you have familiar territory to commentate about, and you really can't go wrong with Pete Weber, who just happens to be up on lane number 16.
Right here, right? This is Weber wants to see our team.
Tom Partle Jr. also, he's up on 15, just left of Pete.
And the big hole.
Pete goes up on the lane where it's been a little squirrely out there, and he doesn't have any problem getting along the fall down. See if we can get a player interview.
That's a double. That's a good guy.
Just grab that mic.
I'm bowling terrible. You really want me to?
All right, joining us here on our fan cam right now is Anthony Lacaze. Most of you know him. He's won a PBA title. Anthony, this pattern compared to the other pattern, what are you guys seeing this particular time out for these 5 games?
Well, Pete's playing them pretty similar, just with a stronger ball. Makes it read a little earlier, cutting down on the back end. A little touchy out there, a little too deep, throw too far right, wants to hang on you. You cut it short, wants to hook on you. Good pattern to bowl on.
What happened on lane 16? We saw one of your teammates, Corey Kistner, missed a head pin to the right, and then we saw you do that. Right. Was it something different? You guys both make good shots?
Yeah, we think definitely the right lane's definitely tighter to the right, so we're going to make that move and hopefully throw it better on that lane.
Did Pete make a move on that lane?
Pete moved a couple boards right. Definitely.
Pete did move a couple boards right?
Yep.
Okay, well, something to keep an eye on. We appreciate you stopping by and letting us know what's going on out there.
Thank you.
Good luck to you, man. That's Anthony Lacaze out there just trying his little heart out on this Pete Weber team, the Solid 9 Pro Shop team from Decatur, Illinois. Appreciate Anthony stopping by with us. Got Doug Lakey out in the field, getting you an update on our tournament leaders going into this last game. See what we get on Team Barris. It was Rick Coy with 9 spare here on 15 and 16, and we got Corey Kistner who just missed a head pin on the right lane. We'll see what he does here up on lane number 15. Corey misses the head pin again to the right. Really bizarre. I don't know what's going on there. Trying to cover boards here, and they can't get it to come back. Keep an eye on that. I'm going to move you over to our B-Bay over here, where we've got Steve Keeler's team, kctournaments.com, and Antonio Medina and Brett Shepard's team. These two teams right now, Brett Shepard's team sits 5th after game number 6. And the KC Tournaments team, 17th at plus 348. They are 150 out of the cut. I don't know what they bowled the last game, but all these teams are looking to be in the top 10. They all cash, come back tomorrow for the Baker matches. Steve Keeler, very familiar with Baker from his collegiate days. Steve makes a good adjustment. When he was up on lane 17, he went high the last time. A lot of times after sitting and moving pairs, it's really easy to cut one short or be a little soft with it. And Steve has gone up and got a nice double now. Brett Shepard's going to join us in the booth here in just a moment after this shot. He's up on lane 18. Brett bowls as much as he can, and his game's really escalated over the last couple of years. He's playing the extreme outside part of the lane, which I think is the right way to attack this pattern. He's getting his ball to tilt off the spot quite nicely. Brett's got strike, spare, strike, and he's going to make his way up to the booth here. We'll get a little bit of insight on what's going on with his look out on the lanes and what his team's doing. Brett joins me now. Brett, that was a good shot on 18. You got a good look from the outside part of the lane, which is really the way I think you should attack this pattern if you can.
Yeah, try not to move in with the rest of the guys. It's a little squirrely, as we found out last game.
Yeah, we were just talking about that on 15 and 16, actually. These guys over here, Pete Weber's team, the Solid 9 Pro Shop, those guys are missing the head pin a couple of times now.
Yeah.
So what do you think of your team today? You've got yourself, you've got Mr. Steve Novak, great player from Saginaw Valley State, bowled for them, and funky cold Antonio Medina. We love him. Actually could have been the Rookie of the Year on a PBA Tour this year.
Could have. If I had a vote, I would have voted for him.
He was on the ballot. He made a good run in a couple of tournaments at the World Series.
Yep.
Learned a lot, bowled well. And who else you got on your team today?
Got Mike Kahn, former Junior Team USA member. And Dominique, I can't say his last name.
Well, that's good.
So we're just going to call him Dom.
All right.
And he's current college bowler, just moved up recently. Finished well at junior gold this year.
Well, good.
So my average age on this team is probably 25.
You sit pretty good here in 5th place going into that last game. What'd you have the last game?
He struggled a little bit. He bowled 1,064.
Okay. Well, that's not bad.
No, that's not bad.
I've seen guys struggle and go 1,000.
I think we had 5 strikes in the 9th and 10th frame combined.
Okay. All right. Can understand
Felt
that.
like a struggle.
So you obviously see up here on our video screen, we're going to get a look at Antonio Medina here as the 3-hole bowler on your team. You got him sandwiched in the middle of this lineup. He's like the creamy filling. He's got a double. What's Antonio's look? What's he looking at? What's he saying out there on the lanes about what's going on?
Well, he just moved in, like literally 2 and 1. Not your typical 2 and 1. He moved 2 dots and 1 arrow left.
Okay.
But as long as he stays aggressive with his arm swing, he's going to get it through the heads. That's pretty much the key. That's why Pete keeps striking every ball.
And just a little update to our fans too. We were talking about Pete over here on 15 and 16. He went flat 7, flat 10.
Got a break.
Now back to back. He might switch balls. And yeah, that was a great shot by Antonio there. He saw the 10 out of there. Who's bowled the best on your team today thus far? Brett?
I believe Steve led our early squad. I don't think you were on TV when you got that one.
Steve's game is really solid. I bowled with him at the TNBA tournament, the Reed Hawthorne, when they gave like the 1 and 2 board available for people to strike, and he just lit it up. He's got an outburst that he loves. I've seen him destroy it with this outburst.
That was a good one.
At Nationals, as well as here. That was a good shot, Mr. Medina.
Oh, thank you. I had to get a messenger in there.
Yeah, Mr. Medina now hanging out in the booth. We're going to have the whole team up here in just a minute.
We are focused on bowling today.
That's right. How long of a drive was this from Louisville for you guys?
Do you want to count the 2 hours we spent at B-Dubs or not?
No.
Okay, it was about 4.5.
How long is it to St. Louis? 4?
Yeah, about 4 hours.
You guys always come out and bowl the events that we run, and we really appreciate you guys coming out and make as many as you can from that far away. It means a lot to us. We have a big following in Louisville.
Yeah, we'll definitely be at that team tournament you got in October.
Yeah, we hope that one fills up and does really well. Kept the entry fee kind of low to try to get more what you would call donators to come out and bowl, It's always a good thing to have your even some league bowlers come out for $100.
Yep.
Now here's Novak. He's got that look from out.
That's getting boring.
Pretty freaking sick.
Kind of like watching Pete striking.
What do you have game 1, Antonio?
What did I have game 1?
You and you, Brett, and Steve.
I don't remember. I had 239.
Okay.
And following Mike Kahn over there. So Brett was kind enough to write down a 2-4 on the score sheet, and then I Greek Church to hit 239.
Okay, 239.
So then after this last game, then I come over here. Thank you. After that last game, come over here, throw one shot, didn't like it. So I moved 18 and 12 to the left.
Yeah, they said 2 and 1, dots and arrows.
When they said move 3 and 2, they didn't tell me what. So I just moved 3 and 2 arrows left.
There you go.
That works, right?
Over here on the left, you're watching the Cater team, Antonio, and watching those guys struggle a little bit now. As Brett goes up and throws another great shot off the corner there. He's really lined up. You think that they're just seeing transition and trying to cross too many boards?
The team we're bowling against?
No. Over here, this the Cater team, the solid 9 pro shots. Kistner just ran past the 7-pin, throwing cross lane.
Yeah, it just seems like when the pattern's this short and the transition's pretty quick, you have to be very careful in your touch. If you lift up on the ball, it's going to go that way. I did not. I would not do such a thing.
It was probably Brett.
What's that?
We'll blame it on Brett.
Yes. He's got big feet. You know what they say about people with big feet?
Big socks.
That's right. Big stability strike socks.
Big stability strike socks. Yeah. Have you ever tried a pair of those?
I'm wearing them right now.
Are you really?
I am.
They're interesting.
No, I gave those to Amanda. Well, I gotta go try to make something happen.
All right, we'll see Antonio Medina right here, just sitting here with us, chilling with us, and he's going to go down and throw a shot. We don't have our full iTunes library with us.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry about that. Brett, things still going well with Emily?
Things are going well. I'm sure she's watching now, actually.
Oh,
She
excellent.
might be.
Hello, Emily.
I think a little mini AC back here or something.
Yeah, a little air conditioner for the booth would be nice.
We need one.
Need an air conditioner for the whole building.
That's right.
Can you tell people it's 104 degrees in here?
Yeah, it is. I told him it is warm, especially here through the middle, but on the ends it's not nearly as bad.
You had a real good view of flagging that flip pin.
I don't think the camera was on us then. They missed that.
Got to catch up here in the chat. Looks like talking about some DVA products and what lanes are PDW and Rick Coy on right here, 15 and 16. Their team is struggling a little bit. We'll give you some coverage of them. We should interview Kretzer and ask him if he's ready for his regional in a couple of weeks in Coldwater. I know that's one of the best regionals out there. He has like a softball game and a golf outing and everything else. I've heard many, many stories about what a great event that was. And when they were serving barbecue here earlier, I was actually spending a little time with Kretzer, getting some potato chips out of the bag, and told him what great work he does and what he does for bowling. So if we can get Kretzer to stop by, we'll do that for sure. Proprietors Cup still hanging out with us. Billy Eisel, we just did their tournament here a couple of weeks ago, and I guess it was about a month ago now. And what a great event to see Shannon Plahowski win almost $16,000. And his organization's growing. They're doing a lot more things. They just announced that there's these Kegel leagues that are coming out. So make sure you check out proprietorscup.com and follow them on Facebook for all the great things they have going on. Storm Roto 24, identify yourself. I'd be interested to know who you are. Obviously, you're a big Storm and Roto Grip fan, which is a great transition to talk about our sponsors here. Storm and Roto Grip, title sponsors of this event, making it all possible for you, raising money for the charity. And we'll give you a chance now to go over and get a look at Pete Weber. That's not Pete Weber on lane 14 there, that's Jeff Furr. Pete's up on the approach on lane number 16. Pete's gone 9 spare, strike, 9 spare. The last time he was on lane 16 where his teammates are having a hard time getting to the head pin, Pete moved a little right, softened up, and was able to get 10 back. And he tried to place that one there. It was just a little left to target, cut it short, grabbed it to make sure it get around the corner, and right through the face for a 310. Popped out of that shot too. Pete would like to have that one back. I'm sure he's going to go up and cover the spare and go to work on lane 15 where his ball has kind of burnt up some energy and it's not going through the pins quite the way Pete likes to see after leaving a 7 and a 10. Something to keep an eye on. Pete Weber, lane 16, he's been forced to be reckoned with this entire tournament, but now getting later in the day, he's a great spare shooter. He doesn't even switch to a spare ball, and on this pattern it's nice to see him use something with a little duller surface and still convert the baby split. Just shows what a professional he is. But it'll be interesting to keep an eye on him as Rick Coy, double 9 spare, 7 spare, gets it going with a strike here in the 5th frame. It is the beer frame. Which, by the way, congratulations to Pete Weber. He's just made a little life choice here recently. He switched to non-alcoholic beverages and is pretty proud of it, and wants to live a little healthier life right now.